Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. We are going straight to the source material today to dissect one of the most volatile and talked about tickers in the service robotics space, Richtech Robotics. Yeah, for the last few months, this name has captured incredible investor attention. It seems really driven by that structural growth narrative, automation replacing human labor in high turnover sectors like hospitality and logistics. So our mission for this analysis is really to examine the technical setup, the ambitious growth forecasts, and the looming catalysts to answer one core question for you. Is Richtech Robotics a good time to buy now? Before we jump into the numbers, please take a moment to subscribe, like this content, and leave a comment below. Oh, and if there's a specific company you want us to look into next, definitely drop that request in the comments.
It's a really essential question, especially because this stock is, well, highly leveraged to the future. It has been highly volatile, trading right near its 52-week high. And that seems driven by a powerful analyst consensus and these, frankly, aggressive growth projections for the sector overall. We do have a robust stack of recent analyst reports here, which are overwhelmingly bullish. But, we have to be intellectually honest with the sources. We are relying heavily on consensus estimates. Why? Because certain primary data like current balance sheet cash reserves or specific debt figures, they're just not published in the summaries available to us. So we're working with the market's current assumption of financial stability. Let's start by unpacking the fundamentals, because the investment thesis for Richtech Robotics, it really lives entirely in the future.
Okay, let's lay out the current financial reality then. If you look at the company today, the trailing 12-month revenue stands at just $4.13 million. And critically, they are firmly in that growth spending phase. They are loss-making, showing a TTM net loss of $15.12 million. That results in an EPS of minus $0.15.
Exactly. So, stated plainly, investors are currently paying for a $15 million annual burn rate today for the promise of massive future expansion. The whole investment thesis is based on future acceleration, not what they're doing right now profit-wise. Analysts project fiscal 2025 revenue to hit $5 million. That's a decent 18.2% increase year over year. But here's where it gets really interesting, and frankly why the market is giving it a $1.17 billion market cap. Analysts project a sharp acceleration to $13.5 million in fiscal 2026.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a 175% year-over-year jump. That level of aggressive top-line expansion is the absolute core of the bullish argument that their market adoption is just on the verge of going vertical.
Okay, that acceleration is compelling, but let's hit pause on that massive blind spot you mentioned. We are analyzing an aggressive growth thesis where liquidity is absolutely paramount. So how confident can we really be in these 2026 growth projections if we don't have that primary data on the balance sheet stability, specifically the debt or cash reserves?
That's a necessary challenge, absolutely. We have to acknowledge that missing data is a risk factor. What seems to be reassuring the market, however, is the operational leverage they are apparently beginning to show. For instance, we've seen upward EPS revisions for 2026 just this past week, moving from minus $0.14 to minus $0.10.
Okay.
That narrowing loss suggests margins are expected to improve significantly as they scale up, using their operating cash more effectively, presumably.
Right. And looking at the market structure, it's a $1.17 billion company, 188.57 million shares outstanding. No dividend, of course.
Naturally, cash is funneled directly into R&D and expansion. And furthermore, the sheer liquidity, the trading volume, confirms strong market participation. The daily volume, 102.6 million shares per day, is robust.
That's huge volume.
It is. That massive volume suggests growing institutional and retail attention, which underpins short-term resilience even with this elevated volatility.
Okay, that financial ambition brings us naturally to the market dynamics fueling this price. We need to look at what they are actually selling that commands this kind of projected revenue spike. Richtech Robotics specializes in that trifecta: service, hospitality, and logistics robotics. Their competitive edge, their moat. It seems like it isn't just one product, it's the diversity and maybe the cost structure of their lineup. We're talking about models like Adam, the AI barista, which is pretty cool. And there's Matredi, the restaurant server assistant, and Medbot, which handles hospital delivery. Plus others like Scorpion for cleaning.
And what's fascinating here is the strategic importance of that diversity. By deploying robots in kitchens, delivery systems, and cleaning like their Scorpion model, they kind of create insulation, right?
How so?
Well, if the hospitality sector sees a slowdown, for example, they still have growing deployments in logistics and healthcare. That diversification acts as a kind of structural insurance against specific sector risk. And critically, these aren't cheap consumer electronics. The units are high cost, ranging from, say, $18,000 to $25,000 per major model.
Right.
That high upfront investment pretty much ensures customers are locked in. Once a hotel or hospital commits to that platform, customer loyalty is likely high, and churn is probably very low. Their proven track record in major venues supports strong pricing power, too.
Okay, switching focus now to the technical setup. The price action has been, well, spectacular. That's a key driver of the current sentiment, clearly. The stock currently trades around $6.18. It surged dramatically from a 52-week low of just 52 cents to a high at $6.30. I mean, going from 52 cents to over $6 in 1 year, that's the kind of run that wakes up even the most jaded institutional portfolio manager.
Oh, absolutely. And from a technical perspective, that momentum is confirmed pretty much across the board. The short-term outlook projects a trading range of maybe $5.92 to $6.37 through the end of the year. That $6.30 level is acting as immediate resistance that we're testing, like, right now.
Okay, but let's go deeper than just saying it's strong. Why are the moving averages so important here in this context?
They are crucial because they confirm or suggest institutional commitment to the long-term narrative. The stock is trading above all key moving averages.
All of them.
Yes. The MA10 is at $4.76, the MA50 is way down at $3.03, and the MA200 is at $2.42. Trading above the MA200 means that even those who might have accumulated the stock for over a year, back when it was struggling around that $2 mark, they haven't sold. They seem committed to this long-term growth story.
Okay, but when you see such dramatic appreciation, you naturally worry about speculative froth, right? Volatility is elevated, sitting around 25.9%. Is that a warning sign?
Well, the indicators suggest otherwise, actually. The technical signals seem to indicate this high volatility is driven more by bullish accumulation, not panic or purely speculative froth. The RSI is strong, between 58 and 75, and the MAN CD is positive. Furthermore, the source data notes that 17 out of the 30 recent trading days were green. So when the stock moves up persistently on high volume like this, high volatility is often just the cost of admission for the momentum trade, you know?
Right, that makes sense. That analysis shifts the risk profile quite a bit. So let's look at the catalysts that could potentially move the price beyond that $6.30 resistance. Sentiment is clearly a strong buy, but what specific news is pushing it forward?
Well, the institutional interest is certainly increasing, as we talked about with the volume. For example, the stock spiked 4.7% following a mixed securities shelf filing. Usually that kind of filing can be interpreted negatively, like potential dilution is coming.
Right, but the market took it positively here. Why?
Because a shelf filing allows the company to register shares for rapid capital raises in the future. The market seems to have interpreted this not as current financial distress, but more as proactive growth planning.
Ah, so the company's ensuring they can raise funds quickly to capture the major expansion they foresee.
Exactly. That seems to be the interpretation.
And that ties directly to that huge move by H.C. Wainwright. They raised their price target dramatically in September, jumping it from $3.50 all the way up to $6.
Yeah.
That's a 70% increase in their target. That kind of high-profile confidence is what really captures the attention of major institutional players and portfolio managers.
Absolutely. And looking forward, we have some very short-term specific catalysts coming up. The most immediate is the Q3 2025 earnings release scheduled for October 28th.
Okay, so that's the immediate test.
Right. It's the immediate test of whether they are on track for that revenue and margin progress we discussed earlier.
Beyond earnings, what else is on the radar in the near term?
We need to watch for potential ETF rebalancing in November and December, specifically within tech and robotics funds. That could force some buying. Also, the FY 2026 guidance preview, usually around December, is critical. If management confirms, or even better, surpasses those aggressive $13.5 million revenue projections for 26, the stock will likely react strongly.
Violently, perhaps.
Could be. And of course, there's always the unconfirmed buzz that fuels these high-growth names.
The rumors.
Exactly. We've heard persistent rumors and stress, unconfirmed of talks with a major hospitality chain for a strategic, maybe even exclusive, partnership.
Wow, that would be massive for customer footprint expansion.
Huge. There's also speculation about entry into international markets, particularly Europe or Asia, and maybe hints of a new AI-enhanced product line leveraging their proprietary automation tech. Any single one of those speculative catalysts proving true could send the stock soaring past the current resistance levels.
Okay, we have to balance this excitement, though, with the real risks. You pointed out the ongoing operating losses and the heavy R&D spending. Those are persistent drags on the balance sheet, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The primary inherent risks are the losses and the dependence on the continued recovery and, frankly, the willingness of major sectors to adopt their high-cost units. However, the sources do note that these are risks relative to the potential for hyper-revenue growth. And as we noted earlier, the diversification of their product, base cleaning, logistics, hospitality, does insulate their performance somewhat from being solely reliant on one volatile sector.
Okay.
For the day-to-day investor, probably the highest immediate risk is simply the high trading volatility itself, which requires disciplined risk management.
So, wrapping this up, what does this all mean for the person weighing an investment decision right now? The overall investment thesis, based on those exceptional future fundamentals and the confirmed technical strength, it looks highly bullish, rated 8.5 out of 10 in the analyst consensus we look at.
Yeah, the rationale is really that exceptional revenue growth projected for 2026, the technical strength of trading above all those key moving averages, and then the steady stream of immediate and speculative catalysts that could unlock the next wave of gains.
So for investors, what is the optimal horizon here? Is it short-term, long-term, both?
Well, it seems compelling for both approaches, potentially. For the short-term tactical trade, you're essentially capitalizing on the known catalyst, specifically that October 28th earnings announcement or maybe some partnership news popping up. For the long-term holder, it's arguably a multi-year compelling holding for exposure to that irreversible structural growth trend in service robotics and automation. And finally, we'll leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. While institutional interests and technical indicators are screaming bullish for Richtech Robotics, social retail sentiment is also highly bullish. But this is happening even as the overall market fear and greed index remains stuck deep in fear. So, if that general market sentiment finally shifts from fear back toward greed, what stands out is the potential for significant upside here. The question is, will Richtech Robotics be one of the first stocks to really benefit from that broader sentiment shift and perhaps fully realize its institutional valuation? Something to think about as you weigh your next move.